What's up, Taurus? How you guys doing? Time for your weekly check-in. We go see what's going on with you guys for the third week of October. October week 3. So it's a weekly check-in, so it's just a short, quick, general, energetic overview. Any of you need a personal reading? If you want, you can just go straight to my website, tarotwithrich.com. I do have a link for that right down here in the description of this video. Most people prefer my general personal readings. Honestly, it's probably just because they're so cheap, but I prefer them because they're quick, fast, easy, and inefficient. Or inefficient. Quick, fast, easy, and efficient. You ain't got to ask me nothing. You ain't got to tell me nothing. All you got to do is click what you want me to read and I'll do the rest. Boom. But I do offer a lot more than that. And you can read up on everything on my website. Link is in the description. Excuse me. All right. Let's see how the energy's looking. How's the energy looking for Taurus? October week 3. Damn, dog. 10 of Wands. It's looking like whatever this connection is, wherever you all stand, it's much more of a burden than a blessing. Much more. Much, much more. Well, but neither of you, I don't think either of you are moving on from this, though. Neither of you are moving on from this, but what? This is like the biggest cliffhanger of a fucking spread that I've ever pulled. Because we got the 6 of Cups and 5 of Pentacles reversed. So, but there's no action. No action being taken. 8 of Cups reversed. Neither of you are really moving on from this. Y'all both sitting around obsessing over each other. But ain't nobody taking no action. Yeah, nobody's taking any kind of action. And I think a lot of you are getting to a point where you're starting to realize that there's no point in taking action. I don't know if you're just afraid it'll be a repeat cycle, or maybe some of you are finally starting to accept the fact that this person is just never going to change. But yeah, whole lot of not much here. All right, well, let's see how they feel about you and what their energies and intentions look like. Man, see, this person lonely as shit. They are lonely, empty, codependent. I kind of feel like they just wish they could find somebody new to get you off their mind. Don't get me started on how stupid that is. But yeah, they just want. This is so confusing because see, when you have somebody in this energy right here, it's really, 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 really hard to describe when somebody is basically just attached to you in their mind. You know, it's not love. It's like possessiveness, you know? It's like possessiveness. They see you. It looks like you're doing good. Looks like it. And it bothers them. It's really hard to put words to this energy, dude. Every time I see this shit right here, Every time I see this energy right here, it's like my brain is in a taffy puller. You just really can't put words to it. There's really not English words that can fully describe the energy and intentions behind this shit right here, you know? Not really. Not really. All right, whatever. Let's just get the advice. And see if there is any advice. Any useful advice. Well, if you are wanting communication anytime soon, it's going to have to probably be the you that initiates it. But be careful if you decide to do that. Because if you fold and cave to the pressure, they are immediately going to assume power over you. And they're going to play with it. So if you do decide to communicate to this person, you better have firm ass boundaries set. Firm boundaries, dude. I think that's probably the most important thing with this whole connection. If you ever want to even increase the chances of this going anywhere, they have to know that firm boundaries are set. They have to know that you ain't the fucking one. You're not the same person. All this time you've been able to push my emotional buttons and get whatever reaction you want out of me and guilt trip me and this and that. I ain't the one no more. So when they push that emotional button, make sure nothing happens. When they give you that little backhanded compliment, stay quiet. When you feel them trying to pull you off track, don't let it. Stay on track. Keep them at a very considerable arm's distance for a very considerable period of time, longer than you ever have before, if you choose to do this. I don't think it'd be a very wise idea personally. That's just me. I don't think it would. I think sometimes you got to let somebody sit and bathe in that energy of knowing that, damn, this ain't gonna go the way it's been going, has it? This cycle is done. You put your foot down. You gotta let them bathe in that. Let them simmer in that. Long enough to where they know. Okay, all right, let me just tell you a little, this is just me. My personal, the way I handle shit. This isn't spiritual advice. This is just me personally. The way I handle shit. I'm a loner. You got to understand, I'm a fucking loner. I have an incredibly tiny circle. Incredibly tiny. When I cut somebody out of my life, it's going to be minimum 1 year before you hear from me again. If you do hear from me. If you do. Minimum 1 year. Minimum. You know why? Because I'm showing you how long I can go without talking to you. I can go a year. I can go 2 years. I can go 5 years. 10 years. I can go without ever fucking talking to you again. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're my mama. I don't care if you're my daddy. And I want you to see that. You're going to know. You're going to know that if you keep playing them fucking games with me, I'll cut you straight the fuck off. But see, the way people react when you cave under pressure and come forward after a month or two. I got you. I got you. I got you. And they're going to assume power over you, and they're going to use it to their advantage and play with it. You got to let them know they don't have no power over you. You got to make that known. So stay gone for 6 months, a year, or however long it takes. 2 years, 3 years. And then once you step back in the picture, now it's known. Yeah, I'll go that long without talking to you. I'll fucking do it again, too. You want to fuck around and play games? Psh, I'm gone. And that has to be understood. So once boundaries are understood and respected, that at least increases the chances that we're going to be able to lay a more solid foundation. You know what I'm saying? All right. Let's see how it's looking for the singles. How's the energy looking for the singles? Anything good coming in? Anything bad coming in? Anything coming in at all? Queen of Wands reversed. Ace of Pentacles reversed. King of Wands reversed. Six of Swords. We got that Knight of Cups there, though. So it kind of does feel like, I don't want to say too much because there's a few cards I'm missing here. But it does kind of feel like you're probably going to be tested. I don't have that, the tested card. Well, there's two of them. Two cards, whenever you hear me use that phrase, you're being tested. I'm looking for either the Hierophant or the High Priestess. Those are the two cards I'm looking for, with a mixture of other things like this, like the Devil card, Knight of Cups, right? If I see some shit like this, and the High Priestess or the Hierophant comes out with it, I'll say you're being tested. I have this, but I don't have the High Priestess or the Hierophant. So I don't know if you'd want to call it a test. Ooh, man, I got this. But I am thinking that it's not working on you. I don't really think. Whatever game they're trying to spit at you, it ain't working. It ain't working. It's not really working. I think you can smell through the bullshit immediately. Jamie, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you. Thank you. Yeah, okay. Boom. I'm looking for it. It's not coming out. That right there looks like a test to me. But I don't have the Hierophant or the High Priestess, so I don't want to go as far as to say that, you know. Okay. Well, let's see, I guess the outcome of this. It's kind of a pain in the ass. What's the outcome here? Overall outcome for the singles. Ace of Swords, Devil card reversed. I think a lot of you are going to float right past this and not even think about it. Because it just doesn't feel right. Seven of Swords. It just doesn't feel right. Somebody trying to play mind games with you. Blow smoke up your ass. Gaslight you. And something about their energy just doesn't feel right. We talk, well, a lot of people talk a lot about red flags and, you know. And honestly, once you start becoming energetically sensitive, you don't even need red flags. And I know this is such a slippery, dicey subject because you can't prove this. You can't prove it. You can't prove it to anybody but yourself that you don't need red flags. Once you become good at reading and sensing energy, you don't need red flags. You just don't. You can just feel instantly a real connection from a fake connection. Instantly. I'm to a point where I can sit down like in the mall on a Friday with people just going all over the place. I can sit in one of them tables at the mall and just look around and point out who my soul family is. Oh, that person's soul fam. Okay. Can't really explain it, you know? Can't explain it. There's just, when there's a real connection and when there's a fake connection, you can feel the difference. So I think the majority of you are going to float right past this. Even if it is a test, which again, I don't have the Hierophant or the High Priestess, I think you'll pass it with flying fucking colors. Boom, death card. And those of you who are being tested are going to level up. All right, well, it doesn't really sound like you need a bunch of advice, but we shall see if any advice wants to come through. Any advice for Taurus? That deck's getting a tude. Any advice for the single Tauruses? Oh, don't be afraid to walk the fuck away. I think the majority of you aren't, so I don't know why that's coming through. Oh. It fell on the floor here. Ten of Swords reversed. So this is do the best you can to enter into any connection as neutral as possible with as few expectations. Now this is hard because a lot of people don't really know how to do that. Most people either have high apple pie in the sky hopes or they're preparing themselves for the worst. Let's see if we can be in the middle. What that means is I'm cool either way. Either way. If this works out, great. If not, oh well, I'm cool either way. If you can enter into a connection with neutral expectations and just keep them at an arm's distance and watch them. It doesn't take long before somebody shows you who they are. But don't let them pull the fucking wool over your eyes. Don't let them spit a shitload of game. Actually, I tell you, you know one thing that gives me, this is not tarot or spiritual advice. This is just me, the way I handle shit in my life. If I connect with you, no matter who you are, and you immediately start trying to make me feel like the most special fucking human being that ever walked the face of this earth, I don't trust you. If you start showering me with compliments, I don't trust you. What are you trying to get out of me? What are you trying to pull? You know? 9 times out of 10, I can't tell you how many clients I read for who say things like, oh, I wish I could show you the text messages from when we first met. Oh, the way he approached me was so amazing. And if you would only see, you would understand why I fell for this. That's the shit you got to watch out for. And again, this is where it gets slippery. Am I saying compliments are bad? No. Discernment is a thing that is really hard to teach. It's really hard to teach. You know? Just be careful. Be real careful. The feeling that we're looking for, actually, honestly, most people are looking for the wrong feeling when they connect with a new person. Most people are on the lookout for that intoxicating, invigorating explosion of emotions that you get when you first meet somebody. It's so intoxicating that it makes you completely forget about all of your problems, right? And that's the energy that is binding most relationships. And there's a problem with that. That feeling is going to wear off. It's temporary. Very temporary. That's not the feeling we're looking for in a real connection. In a real connection, we're looking for transparency. And to this point, I've only come up with one analogy that I can use to kind of explain what it's like. Do you have like maybe a family member or a friend that you're so close to that you never feel the need to question where you stand with them, whether or not you can trust them? Like your mom, for example. You walk in the room and your mom's on the phone. She gets off the phone, you say, "Oh, who was you talking to?" "Oh, that's your Uncle Jimmy." And you know she's telling you the truth. You just know. Well, how do you know? Because I just know. That's my mom. I know. Can't really put words behind how you know. I just know, you know? That is similar to the level of transparency that we're looking for. And this is where it gets hard, because every time you try to describe this, somebody always swears up and down that they thought they found that before. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. But we're looking for transparency. You shouldn't have to put someone through a bunch of tests. You shouldn't have to sit and study somebody's behavior, you know. There's nothing wrong with doing those things. I'm just saying that you shouldn't have to. When you meet your actual fucking person, you ain't gonna need to do any of that. And the likelihood that you're gonna need to come see me is incredibly slim. Incredibly. So whenever you feel that weird, funny, off feeling, don't waste a bunch of time sitting around trying to figure out what it is or why it feels that way. It doesn't matter. Something is off. It's either me, you, or both of us. Doesn't matter. It's not going to work. Don't be afraid to walk away from something that's confusing. Don't be afraid to walk away from something that is stringing you along, blowing smoke up your ass, selling you a pipe dream, stringing you along, hot and cold, on and off, in and out, acting one way one day, another way another day. Don't be afraid to walk away. All right, y'all. I feel like those were the messages that my Taurus family needed to hear. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. Thanks again for tuning in and playing along. Don't forget, information for personal readings is all down here in the description. All right? I'm out of here now, y'all. I will see you sometime between now and the rest of all eternity. Stay blessed.